Selena here, talking to you about the beautiful month of April 2018. We are here. We are in the new year. We are truly at the beginning. Okay, so the new year was on the 21st of March, and you must have felt something, perhaps, or you might have not. But it hasn't quite developed how it usually would. It didn't really have that punch and that raunchy sort of like kickstart until about the 24th. So I'm here now on the 25th of March recording this for you, and I hope that you're having a very nice start. So what to expect here in April? It's so cute, you guys, it's so cute. It is not very clear in the mind. We've got Mercury retrograde conjunct the Sun. We've got Jupiter retrograde. We've got a whole lot of things in shadow. We just have a very startled month. We have a very startled beginning on this full moon in Libra, and this month ends on a full moon on Scorpio, and it's also going to end on Saturn and Pluto retrograde and Mercury no longer retrograde. So this is going to be a little bit of a ride. The most important thing here is not to expect too much and not to count the doors, the things, the actions, the tactics that worked to work again. So that's the main thing I feel about this interesting, treacherous April, is that where we thought the twinkle was, it is not. Where we thought the joke was, it isn't. And where we felt all our lives that something was going to help, or something was going to be there, somebody was going to react to us a certain way, or something was going to work, it isn't going to. So what I'm seeing basically is change of tactics big time for a lot of us, and also a very soft, because nature feels to me very kind during this month for some reason, very soft, no, not this way, going that way now. So how to address this time? Be one, be as one. It is awesome to not know where you're going. It is fantastic not to have a set preconception about who you are and where your life was gonna head. It is not so good to think and to ponder and to work things out in your head, because we don't have a lot of mental clarity, I feel, till Gemini kicks in about the 30th of May. We're going to know. So we're going to really speak about things. We're going to really understand and realize where it went wrong or how it changed its tactics. But for now, we can't really see what's going on until sometimes it's too late. So the best tactic here in April, I feel, is just to walk along, just to show up, just to say hello. Hi guys, how's it going? That's all you need. Just walk out the door with that bag and keep on going. That is the best way, unless you're somebody who's already planned something and they can see clarity. So by the end of March, you probably, if you are a worker, a planner, and a coordinator, you are there. So probably, especially if you have sang and danced and reminisced and really let go in Pisces, you probably could by now start building. We've got Mars conjunct Saturn at the beginning of April. We've got a huge, like a whole lot of behind the scenes success. Not in front, but behind the scenes things can really come together. So sequencing since March was very well done. So sequencing, learning about people, learning about your work, starting to structure something, starting to end things and start things anew, beginning to see the larger scheme of your business, beginning to see the bigger picture of your life. For those who have carried on momentum since Capricorn, so since January or even since beyond that, so that have actually designed a life of work or designed a life of pleasure through work or pleasure through sequencing or art, you know, a life of art, a life of putting things together. That's your main focus, and it has not changed after Pisces. If you did not let go and you're still kind of on the roll, you will most likely succeed, unless you don't want to. So if you're stuck in a little game of life where you are keeping on, and you don't really want to do those things anymore, it's a very interesting time to start again. It's a very good time to just walk into a company and offer your CV to someone else. It's a very interesting time to have your heart stolen by somebody during this time, even to give your heart away to people. But unless you know it's true, it's not worth it. So do you know that you're ready? Are you ready for change? If you are ready for change and you're ready to vocalize that you no longer need this and you want to do that, that's fine. So we're at the beginning here. We can really turn the ship around. We really can. Very good time to just walk into situations. It's very nice. Unfortunately, also a very strange time to get stuck in situations. So with a cell phone, you know, watching Netflix by yourself, feeling lonely, feeling low. Hey, what are you doing today? You know, like, so having these flirtatious discussions online, these flirtatious text messages, Snapchat and Instagram and all those things, they really suck us in during this time, because the ambiguity and not knowing what to say to each other is actually that which is strangely appealing, because we are here with Mercury retrograde conjunct Sun. And it is also a very, very strange and satisfying time not to know what they're thinking, not to know what they're doing. What did you mean when you said this? Nothing. No, but what did you mean when you said this? You know, so we can actually attach a huge story to another person without really having too much grounding in that. But by just walking up to somebody and bringing them a rose and saying, hey, I've been thinking about you and I think you're great. Would you like to go to dinner with me? Just like that. It's really cute. This is like 5-year-olds, you know, this is like toddler romance. It's so cute. So just like walking up to somebody and you just dropping down in front of them, you know, you're displaying your colors and you're saying, I love you. That works. That's really good, because we got very young Venus here. Venus will be in Gemini by the end of the month, but at the moment she just crossed over into Taurus. Really basic romance, love and candy and candlelight dinners. So don't get stuck watching Netflix by yourself or texting somebody who you really like, who doesn't really know that they even care about you or not. They can't tell, you know. Best thing is to just grab somebody by the hand. Tactile romance, tactile, simple, wonderful, young, fresh, innocent and goofy romance is what really works, I feel, in April. Unless you are somehow differently wired, but that's the main human truth, I feel, for this month. Karma. I have written about this. I have written about this. This is online. This is on my free blog. So if you'd like to check this out, How to Survive April 2018, it's all there. So karma comes to town. It really does. So this is a karmic backlash month like I have never seen April to be. I feel that we really, really have to start watching ourselves. We have to really start seeing where the tongue has betrayed us, you know. We have got to have a look as to how we have done things in such a way where we have actually hurt too many people along the road to success or along the road to dream. What we've done really here, and to carefully examine our actions. Volunteer work, amazing this month. Volunteering your time, even volunteering some time to your grandmother, to your grandfather. Sitting alone is not so good. It is not so good. We're in the dog year, sitting alone, sitting back and watching other people like a king. Usually in April is actually quite great, but unless you are doing something for the common good, unless you're giving your time away, sometimes it's not so good, because this can be a very fragmenting time later on when you realize you've created a capsule for yourself, and during this incredibly social and interactive year, you don't really have a lot. So definitely volunteer your time to another person. Have a look at what is happening with you. If it's teeth and hair, you know, there are some kind of like fractures in your unconscious, okay? If you're afraid, if you're grinding your teeth, if you're crying at night, the unconscious has not been put together well. So how do? We have to catch up. We have to maybe pay some debts, you know, we maybe have to do something for another person. Praying for now, for most people, is not going to be enough. Like, it feels to me that there's got to be tangible, practical action. So it's like taking somebody in, you know, offering somebody a home. Oh, this is actually a perfect time with Saturn going retrograde as well. Perfect time, hands down, great time. Offering somebody a place to stay, offering somebody comfort, giving your shoes, your clothes, your things away to another person is fantastic. It is a fantastic time to have a creed like that. It's a perfect time to look after plants if you don't get on with people, because we have like the sun going to Taurus. Perfect time for gardening towards the end of the month. Very nice, gracious time to do something, because karma comes around and you might not see it straight away. It might be an ache here, a pain here. How can you tell? Maybe your body feels like it's falling apart during Aries. Take care, because Aries is where you have the most light to burst through the previous nonsense, to create a new start, to gush, to push. It's a pushy time. We are given energy here, and we are likable here. And if you don't feel likable, if you don't feel social, you don't feel fun, you don't feel funny, you don't feel one, if you don't feel together, it's a very likely time to consider that perhaps there has been a few things that you have done that haven't really managed to make sense in the long run. So what to do is, but not to really overanalyze, but just to speak out on behalf of another, give something to another person, but also very, very careful and gentle with that if a person doesn't want to receive, because that can be sometimes the case. So if they do not want to receive, then you do not give, perhaps find some other way around it. But yes, very likely time to be forgiven. That's another thing about this month. Very easy to be forgiven. Very nice time to also be blessed and to structure very fast where before you haven't structured before. We're beginning on a Mars conjunct Saturn. Before it goes fully retrograde, we could really quickly raise the roof. We can very quickly take care of ourselves. We can very quickly change situations. By the end of March, you can see if you're not really happy with where you're at, you want to climb very fast, you can go very, very, very quickly through things that before took ages to do. You can start a new development. You can also, if you're lucky, start serving or doing or providing yourself purpose and service through things that you've never done before, things you've never tried. For example, you've never wanted to be an entrepreneur. Suddenly you are. You never thought of yourself as a singer, and suddenly you have a band. It is something that is very, very easy here and also very fast. Unfortunately though, okay, we could lose a lot of time, we could lose a lot of money, and we can lose a lot of power and passion if we don't feel together. If you want to increase your levels of freedom, energy, and thriving, you might need to look back into you more instead of being carried away with other people. It is not an easy thing to do sometimes. So trying to place yourself too much into the force for another, or trying to be too forceful with another, or trying to integrate too fast into new things, you can spill a lot of time. So that's the only thing. An occasional hello to something completely different is good, but then also an occasional goodbye. It is a very interesting time as the Earth is going through Libra. We're starting this month on a full moon in Libra, actually. It is very, very nice to give things away and also to receive things that you haven't looked for before. So keep your eyes peeled. And it is not an easy time to do that, because it feels to me that sometimes it's like being on a roller coaster ride during this month and everything's happening all together. You know what I mean? It is very, very good to have now a steady practice where you are alone. Very, very good and clear to have clear intuition, clear eyes, and clear impulses. A person can walk by and you might not notice, but they could have a key to your life. So it is a very, very easy time to miss opportunities, but also to walk towards the new, not knowing that the old is not yet the old, is actually needs resolving. So very, very good to have clear reflexes. Another thing is sport and physical education of yourself. So if you're playing a ball game of any sort and you're getting used to that quick reflex and that eye to body coordination, that's very, very great, because that can teach you a lot in life as well. So if you are really stuck, if you are murky, you know, if you're kind of walking through life like, come on, just give me something. Okay, watch out for this. Watch out. If you're walking through life and you're just saying, give me something, you know, I just want a little bit. I just want a little bit, you know, I just want a guy in my life, or I just want a new bed, or, you know, I want to make money. Like, if you're just walking like this, and this is difficult because in April we have got the biggest soul urge, the greatest, the greatest passion. This is where Aries really comes in. This is where we can really push through. This is where we can trust. And if you're just kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, just give me something, okay? That's hungry. It's hungry feeling, but it is not pure. So if you are not able to really feel that punch, if you're not really swimming with life like a dolphin, if you're not carrying through that torch, if you're not carrying that piece of yourself into the future, if you don't feel good and clear and clean about life, that can be very, very taxing for everybody, actually. And it can be very taxing for you. So try not to get stuck, and also try not to fall asleep. Not to fall asleep with life. It's like, okay, that's great, So basically stay alert, stay fresh, and remember, like, wake up, because we've got retrograde Mercury, retrograde Jupiter. Wake up. It's like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot about this person in my life. Or like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot to give back to my community. Oh my gosh. So stay awake, stay awake. What not to do? What not to do, this is just another thing, is to fall asleep, to take your time, to step behind people, to watch them like, look at them doing things. It's actually very, very nice to be in uncomfortable and non-confident situations here, because somehow this month, being unconfident and being pure and being like a child, it's like a freshman, being a freshman in life is actually very, very attracting. It's very attracting, and it can be very vulgar sometimes to suggest that you know everything, or that you knew everything already, or everything already is known to you, or you're over it. That could actually retract you for many, many months. So for example, you could have a situation where you're new in the game, and suddenly you say, well, actually I already knew it would be like this, and I don't actually trust these people. So having this air of supremacy can take you back for 3 or 4 months until you learn to nurture yourself more than that. So that's something that's I feel happening with me and a few other people that I've seen, stepping back from positions of know-it-all, stepping back from positions of power, stepping back from power, like from positions of negativity and positions of control over your situation. Because there are certain times, and this is one of those months hands down, where we think we have control, or we thought we had something and we don't. That's an interesting thing. So it's almost like you open the door where there was always something behind the door, and once you open the door, there's nothing there. So opportunities are shifting face. Quantum reality is changing its footprint. There are different moves in this dance. There are new moves to learn, and definitely this year I feel is going to be one of the nastiest years, for people who are not yet understanding as to how to switch up the game. The rhythm has changed, so we need to dance a different dance. And also could be one of the nicest years, one of the easiest rides for people who are clear enough not to know, who are open enough to be innocent, who are true enough to know where to go and where not to go. And it's all about the pineal gland, and it's all about the life force, like learning to be alive, learning to be uninhibitedly alive. That's basically the main point of April. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. If you would like to know more about me, there is information below, but if you would like to know more about your sign, I will do a series of quick videos for each sign, so sun, ascendant, and clusters, and moon. So if you would like to click on the sign, it will be all there, and I hope that you enjoyed this prognosis. Hi Aries, Paulina here. We have a lot in common, so let's talk about you and your situation. Okay, so in April, be nice to you. Be as nice to you as you can handle being nice to you, because it feels to me that a lot of Aries people don't really know what it's like to be known to be nice, or to be known to be a good person, when they sometimes aren't, because they don't remember that they are. So this is interesting. It's very, very clear to me. Mantras, also any kind of repetitive talk to yourself should be clear. I am a beautiful person. I am a messenger of peace. I am a loving, caring guy. I am a good woman. Just keep on saying this to yourself, because sometimes Aries get projected on, or they forget that they're good, or they don't think they're good. They question their own interests. You know, they sometimes can question themselves more than need be, and sometimes Aries can also put themselves into situations where they have to be somebody they're not, because they thought they would prove to themselves that they are something that they're not. It's like identity crisis. Identity crisis, also getting yourself into debt is very easy this month. Bliss and beauty. Choose wisely. Choose the types of places you want to go to. Choose the people you want to see, because you may not know this, but you're at this month, you really truly are. But the energy might tell you otherwise. And this is not good for us. So you have to be that person that chooses, and be that person that shows up where you want to be. You know what I mean? But how do you choose? If you don't feel you're a good person, sometimes you might not choose a very nice place. Choose you first. Choose the beautiful, amazing, caring and loving aspects of you, and really marvel at them. I mean, if you could spend a day or week saying to yourself how lovely and beautiful you are, as therapy, like seriously. But then when you come into the world, when you go out and you choose certain things for yourself, these have to match you, but also things will choose you this time. Because if you are not sure as to who you are, sometimes you'll be chosen by other people during this time, or sometimes you might be labeled or tagged or connected to a certain group or connected to a certain issue that you might not really have to choose this time around, as long as you know that you're good. So take the easy route. Know that you're good, Aries. Know that you are the best. Know that you've always wanted love and peace. If you aren't sure, give back. Very nice to sign up for that volunteer job. You know, very nice to sit with your grandma for a while to make sure she's all right. Very good time to give back to others. Very nice to do things for free. Very good to give some money to charity, or give a very, very nice tip to somebody who you love. Very, very good to just be able to give. Then you know that it's true. You are a giving person. You're capable of much more. You are capable. You are glad. You're glory. You're loving. Try not to trust another person, though, to give those things to you. So laying back there and asking, do you think I'm nice? Do you love me? Do you care about me? Do you really understand me? Is not so good. So give it to you first before somebody else can give it to you with respect. That's the main thing. So choose wisely, choose well, Aries, during this time. And unlike most of us people, you might not know what to understand or where to go in a situation. So I'm seeing you as almost like a baby during this time. It's very, very good to raise yourself from scratch here. It's very good to be gentle and very calm with yourself. And unless you've got a lot of, say, Virgo or Taurus, you might not see things coming when they do. So when you don't know what's coming and you're a little bit scared or you're a little bit surprised, if something happened, you know, if something disappointed you, if somebody took something from you, first thing to do straight away is to have that space to tell yourself how much you love yourself, and how much you love another, and how much you love the world. Remember who you are, basically, Aries, because it's very, very easy to get misguided, surprised, and lost for words. Lost for words. I don't know how that could have happened. I'm not sure, you know. If you're looking for comfort in other people, that can give you a snowball or like a dissatisfied feeling sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes. Like you come to someone's house who usually comforts you, and perhaps here they might have a different idea on who you are, and it could be something goes wrong, something cracks, and then you go to someone's house to get a little bit of satisfaction from peace and quiet, and they might tell you to go. And then you might think, okay, that's fine, I'll go see somebody else I know, and then they might not be home. So it is very, very good to have this time to be able to have the space and the freedom and the opportunity to give to yourself all the love in the world, Aries, seriously, like really, really strong stuff here. And then from that, to build a better situation. So it feels to me that for you, when you are here and you're not sure and you're questioning yourself and you're like, like this about who you are, who you were. You're not sure. If you're not sure, nobody's sure. This month, nobody's sure. And if you can, please solidify this within yourself to such a great degree that it just rings in your ears. I'm good, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. It just rings in your soul that you are a perfect person, that you have a lot to give and you have a lot to do here that you wanted and you needed. Give it to yourself. Know that. And then when you're walking out, this is a really cute idea actually. You're walking out into life. You're walking amongst us, you know, you're trying to do a few different things for different people, or you're trying to be yourself. And then you see, okay, door in the face, door in the face, door in the face. Okay, so for example, you strike 3. You've had 3 disappointments or 3 really weird situations in public, perhaps not even connected to your own life. You might have to go back to the drawing board and redesign you or redefine who you are. Unless, of course, you are a sports person. You're a sports person, you walk a lot or you do a lot of running. What a good time to train. You know, training, if you're training, if something slammed in your face and you went to the gym and you trained for 2 hours and you came out and suddenly everything was strong again. So that's one of the reasons I feel that you are so good at things perhaps sometimes, Aries, is because you can take out that emotional strain through physical strain. And this can be something that is very, very there for you. So exercise routines, exercise of any sorts, physical outlets, but also for some people fashion and the physical world. And for some of you guys also building, ceramics, creation, art, music, anything. But this is therapy. This is therapy. So it's like to outlay that anger or outlay that frustration so that when you come into the world, doors open and not close. So thank you very much, Aries. I hope this has been helpful to you. Check out your moon sign, stellium and ascendant and sun, you know, based on astrology. And yes, thanks a lot. If you'd like to know more about me, caption section below. And also, if you'd like to know more about you, I can do a special chat for you and a special reading for you. If you'd like to check out my website, I would be grateful. Thank you very much and have a wonderful month. Hi Taurus, thank you very much for being here. Paulina here talking to you about your month of April and what to do. Okay, so we are in your 12th house. Yeah, so this is a little bit rough. So we had the overall 12th house in Pisces in March, and now we are still in the 12th house. 12th house for you. The 12th house in Aries is not pretty sometimes. So where we are is self-respect, we are in self-nurture, and yes, you can probably see that a lot clearer than most of us people as to what needs to be done. This is the best, hands down, best time if you don't really want to nurture us anymore. If you can kind of see what we've done, if you can kind of understand, okay, hang on, I'm always there for you, but I can kind of see what you want. You know, or like, whoa, hang on. I've always tried to do this way, and now I can see why, and how come it's never worked. Whoa, hold your horses. So don't question yourself if you know. Taurus, you are hands down the best at the moment at seeing what's what. What is the practical purpose of what seems emotional? You can tell. What is the underlying current behind everybody? You can probably see. If you are a methodical person, if you are a healer, if you are a doctor, if you are a practitioner, you can probably see beyond us, way beyond us. And don't hold back, don't hold back. It is very easy to hold back, but don't hold back. Okay, so, you know, you've got your spleen off and say you've got, you know, a few parasites in your body. That's how come you've got this. You know, or like say you come to me with a sprained ankle, but there is something else wrong as well. You know, there is something happening as well. There is something that you can see that other people cannot. If you're a doctor, a beautician, any kind of physical or psychic practitioner, what a perfect time to really let it rip and to just let it shed. Okay, so you come here again for the same problem. Yeah, but you've got 4 other problems you don't know about that are causing this problem. So you can see the cause and effect, but not just the cause and effect, the root healing is within you, Taurus. So you can see the depth, you can see beyond. And we really do not know. And we sometimes do not even care or do not understand what's up. We can't see. We perhaps cannot for the life of us see what you are saying to us even, but you have to find the courage and the patience for us people as well, and the love for yourself and the love for your practice, or the love of God or love of something, to be able to, and it's going to be difficult this month, really fish out those comments. It's like, okay, look, I know this is going to be hard for me. This is going to take me a good hour to think about, but I'm going to ride this out for you. If you can, it's like, sometimes it is like milking a stone. You need to understand here, sometimes in your understanding in certain windows of life, like during this particular window in April, May, in these windows, you are sometimes God over a situation, or you have the overall view. It's like you're standing at the top of a building, you're in a penthouse, you got the penthouse view of a situation. And though it might be very, very hard to say anything, like your teeth might lock in, you know, you might look extra silent and extra pleasant to someone, but you might actually be holding back so much. So good to write this, so good to say this. If you wanted to write articles about things, it's a very perfect time to actually give yourself the credit and to start specializing in something that perhaps is not learned but is very natural to you. Very, very understanding, caring time to find out you've got psychic ability and that you've got actually something beyond that. I'm seeing that people are going to start seeing what's underneath the skin. You know, people can see what's happening with the anatomy underneath, and how this impacts the emotional or the causal bodies, what is going on with you, with another. So psychic healing, anything that is also aiding your own practice. For instance, if you're a chiropractor already and now you're actually starting to zone out and seeing all these different light grids and things like that, so interdimensional experiences are very, very hardcore for some of you. Very good. So don't hold back. If you can, document this. You don't want to, maybe, this is an interesting thing, you might not want to say anything to another person because it's not normal, but you might want to record. Okay, so I just had a dream, you know, I looked at my spleen, or like I had a look inside my brain and I actually saw what was going on. I can actually say, predict what's gonna happen sometimes in a day with different people. I can see visions, la la la, you know, I'm starting to see ghosts or something like that, or I'm feeling a lot of different feelings in my body. You're getting, I feel some of you guys are getting chosen, and actually each Taurus I feel is getting kind of chosen during this time to open up a special ability or an extra psychic sense in terms of who the other people are. But this is a month of self. I mean, we're in Aries time. This is difficult. You might need to also look back at you and give to you something very simple. So on one scale, you might have a sudden psychic exploration, psychic knowledge, psychic gifts. And then on the other side, you might actually have something very simple. You might say, okay, I'm going to have a mono diet or a very simple diet. I'm going to cut down the carbs, or I'm going to, for example, sit in bed and meditate every night, or I'm going to do something for me that is very simple. So ironically, the simplest things work. So for example, you say to yourself, I'm just going to eat potatoes and veggies for the week. I just want a simple night's rest, and I would like to have no more issues in traffic. So I'm going to maybe drive out to work an hour before, just to make sure I don't hit any traffic. Great, done. So the simplest options for you, almost to the point where it's so simple that it's silly, you know, so simple it's silly. The simplest options for you, and also the most hardcore, complex way of seeing the world on the other side. But try not to look at it and close it, because sometimes the Taurus can have unconscious fear. You can sometimes open the door, look in, and this is a gift, you know, this is a big gift. Psychic perception, you know, psychic worlds, unconscious understanding, or even luck, you know, say if you buy stock, you might have sudden luck. You might just know which buttons to push. You might be guided into like how to garden really well, or like how to build a house. You might get visions. Okay, with Taurus, sometimes if they close the door hard enough, it will not open again. So if you wanted to close this door of gifts that are coming your way, unconscious gifts, you might want to remember that everything that's given to you is given for a reason. Don't get frightened. Simplify your life. If you have a lot coming through now, especially if it is through voice, this is really hard sometimes, like through feelings, you know, when you first get psychic waves. If you are one of those people who's getting this month, try not to get nervous about it. Just the breath, simple eating, simple living. If you can, don't overcrowd yourself, because some of us, when we get psychic perception, we try to overcrowd our world with nonsense and sometimes innocence. It's like, I just want to watch TV, I just want to watch all the channels. It's like, why? It's because I can hear things in my brain. If you are somebody like this, and this is what I've done when I was a kid, for many years I didn't want to know, so I used to watch TV compulsively when I was a teenager. If you are somebody who's like that, and say you're afraid of the dark, so you turn on the radio and you sleep with the radio on, it is very good to find the strength and the self-nurture inside not to do that, and to open the door wider rather than to shut it off. So thank you very much, Taurus. It's very exciting for me to see you this way, and I hope that you have a fantastic, a fabulous April. All the details about me are in the caption section below. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next month. Hi Gemini, Paulina here. We're talking about you, we're talking about Aries. We are talking about the month of dream and drama for you. We're also talking about the dream of the collective species. We're talking about big, high-flying discs. We are talking about... sorry. Okay, so we're talking about... about things that are not totally right for you yet. So, this is hard. You're not going to catch up till your month. This is difficult. Before May, you might not, end of May actually, you might not quite get what you need if you're starting to build something truly big. If you want to build something casual, if you wanted to build something even plastic for you, or something that comes together that's best, you've got the building capability, yes? But you also have a feeling about you, Gemini, at the moment, that you are creating castles in the sky that are so vast and so pure and so grand that you might not have the ingredients or the time or the context or the lifetime to really be able to do it now. Until May. So what I'm saying here is, I don't want to discourage you from building anything. No. I'm just saying that you've got the gift of sight. You perhaps have this incredible way in which you are already onto a few trends and a few global things that are just like ringing your head. You can already see maybe where the market is going. You can perhaps already see where the pleasure and the pain for the collective psyche is. You can probably already see what other people are feeling, what they're looking for and what they're looking at. But what you don't have is context or the mind that's clear. So I would say build on what you've got, or make something practical. I know, it's really boring. If you are somebody who's like me, like you're a visionary person, it is a very nice time to stick together what you've had. So for example, you've written something last year, you didn't really want to do it, didn't really understand it. Very nice time to publish an old book. Very, very good time to carry on doing things that you've done. And keep on mulling the other ideas over, because these things may change context a few times before May. So the idea that you have, the ideology you have, especially if it's spiritual, if it's religious, if it's strong, if it's humanitarian, if it's larger than life, or if you want something beyond your world, by the end of May, you will notice, I've already had that. Or you might say, that's just... that's like a different movie, that's like a different reality. I was dreaming something very big that wasn't really going to give me the things later, So if you are building a castle in the sky, stop building that castle. it would be very, very nice to notice things around you. So how do you get the most influence in your world? And yours is the sign of influence occasionally during the dog year, because you are like the social glue, you are like the social tubes, you are like this making of us during this time. If you want, check out this idea, okay? So when a king is looking way too far out there, sometimes the king can forget the context of his world. Have a look at who's around you, the people that are crowding around you, the people that are loving you, the people that are spending their time thinking and worrying about you. Just check out the direct people first before you are starting some big social popular thing of the age, you know. So it's very, very, very likable sometimes to do the thing for everyone, but not to take care of your younger brothers and sisters, or not to take care of yourself sometimes. If you can, please don't lose context. So this is immediate surroundings first. So we're building a sphere. Who's in your sphere? Who comes to your workshops, for example? Who makes you bread in the morning? Okay. Who washes up and cleans up after you? You know, who loves you? Who takes care of you? Who offers you a word? Who says hello to you? Who offers you their time? What is offering? What is physical? Like, who is actually there? Like, who is actually there? These are fractals, okay? I don't want to get technical on things because this is an emotional time. This is very real, human, innocent time. But if we are going to get fractally, I'm going to get slightly like metaphysical. Everybody that you see, okay, they hold the greatest mirror to you that you can have. Everybody that you see, everyone who reaches out to you, taps you on the shoulder, talks to you, holds your hand, these people are it. These are the forces that will then eventually, unconsciously or consciously, stimulate the greater circle, and the greater circles yet. But if you are looking at, say, your gardener, okay, or you are looking, say, at your wife, and you're like, oh, they'll never know what I'm doing, they don't understand me, okay, these people, I don't know, I'm going to go and approach that person over there, okay? So it's very easy sometimes for you to do that, and occasionally there's going to be windows, especially in a dog year for you, where you can just run away, you can just grab your bag, you can say move to Las Vegas, you can approach the right people. Occasionally for you these windows are, and this is actually one of these windows in April, but be very, very mindful, because you can run away with yourself. You can place somebody on a pedestal very easily here, Gemini. You can place somebody way above you. You can go into celebrity worship, or worship of a person as if they were a celebrity. And it also feels to me that you can detach yourself from your grounding and from your network. And occasionally, Gemini, because your unconscious is in Taurus, you need this most of all. Sometimes, because you don't have the same type of energy here as you usually do. This is a very treacherous thing. You can sell somebody off during this time. You can dismiss somebody who's actually one of your roots. So if you can imagine you're a tree, you can just cut off one of your roots by accident, or by wanting to reach up higher. But the irony is, the tree with the deepest roots is usually the tree that can grow the highest. So what are your roots? Who is there next to you? Who lives next door to you? What is that person doing that's giving you all their lifetime, you know, all their care, all their thoughts? If you don't like them, okay, if you don't like them, or you don't value who you are enough to accept what they're giving, it's a very, very good idea not to do anymore. So trust your roots, trust who's feeding you, what's coming in, the information that's being given to you, the people that are coming to you, the people that are naturally around you physically in your environment, and then see how much further you can grow. But yes, all the giant ideas, all the ginormous worldview stuff, I'll leave it till last few days of May. So thank you very much. If you would like to know more about me, or if you would like to get a reading, have a look in the caption below, and also check out your Sun, Ascendant, Moon, and Stelliums with the other signs. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful time. Hello, hello, sexy and divine, delicious Cancer. Okay, so Cancer, you guys have a lot more than you think that you have to know. You might not want to know enough. It is a very, very easy time to just pack your bag really quickly and walk out the door. And yes, you can do that, and you can do it for sure. During this particular month of April, it is very, very easy to just sign the papers and off you go. It is very, very, very easy time to bury yourself in books or bury yourself in a blanket and say, I'm not going anywhere, I'm a Cancer. It is very, very easy, and sometimes people love you like that, and sometimes people might even encourage you to do so, but you might want to know things. You might want to know. If you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, you might want to know what they're up to. If you have a friend who you haven't seen for a long time and you're wondering why they haven't called, you might want to know why. If you have a job that's not paying you enough and you haven't been able to talk to the boss about this, you might want to raise the question or two. And if you haven't got enough things happening in your body or your lifetime, or you're feeling stuck, you may want to see somebody about it and ask why. Or you might want to just see you. But the best, I feel, is to do with other people, to do with paperwork, to do with checking facts, checking up, calling up, messaging, talking to people. And it's not easy. It's not easy this time, but I feel there's a lot of unconscious stuff that's happening with you and with your world. For some of you, even with your body. If it's with your body, you need to really see somebody about it. Okay? It's not just about a simple, injection. It's not just about a simple truth. It's going to probably take a little time to resolve, especially if you have anything to do with the body that's going on. Might need to have a look, might need to research, might need to see 2 or 3 doctors, a psychic, and perhaps a Reiki healer or something like that. Just, make sure you really know. So Cancers, you can sometimes during this time get a notion and you can go la 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 la, So if you get a notion, or you get one practitioner, one person, or even a friend suggest to you that something's wrong, it's a very, very nice time to say, okay, be brave, be patient with yourself, because there will be parts of you that will say, I want candy, I want a bowl of chocolate ice cream, I want to go to Asia, I want to go and practice meditation in the mountains. There will be an escapist part, and it feels to me that this is going to even be an escapist time for most of you guys who aren't truly there. So this is another thing that can happen. La 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 la, I'm not listening. This also can be in terms of great love and great connection to another person, because Aries can really accentuate your sensuality sometimes. We can see you, and sometimes when somebody sees you and they really truly love you, it can be terrifying. It can be very scary. Oh my god, she really loves me, la 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 la, I'm gonna go somewhere else now. That's something that can happen with all things good and all things bad and all things in between. So the running away from a fact, or the fear of another person, or the fear of something that's going on with you, is very, very likable sometimes for other people. It's really quite ironic actually, but sometimes many people might really comfort you or feel you or give you extra, because this fear of things, this vulnerability and this innocence really suits you during this month. But you might want to bypass how much people like you in this state and see if you are actually capable of knowing more. If you've got somebody who's like a Taurus, or like a really, really nice grounded Scorpio friend during this time, ask them more. It's a very nice time to bypass actually the friends that are like, oh, I just want to give you a hug, you're so cute and little. It's very nice to bypass familiarities with people and to go and find that friend that will sit you down, have a cup of tea with you and just watch you for a while. Serious people, serious friends, serious friendship when they don't just want to see you laughing and smiling, when they actually want to see what's behind the smile and what's behind your world. It is very, very unconscious sometimes for us to have you around, because Cancer, you really evoke a lot of dreams in us, and you really can help us evolve so much. But occasionally there are those times when we need to help you evolve, and quite frequently when it's time to help you evolve, and especially if you don't want to, if you're doing this, it is very, very hard to find the person that will hold you in their space enough and feel you enough and parent you sometimes enough in order to really help you grow. But you might have these people available all the time, but this is that time. You know, if you've got that friend, you know, that friend that really takes no shit, you know, that friend needs to be there now for you. You know, that friend that is not running away, that friend that's not looking for illusion, especially not friends who are looking for you to mother them. Even though mothering people is very easy. We're in Aries time, the baby, you know, everybody's a little bit of a child. It's so easy to just, you know, give a gift, give a smile, you know, invite somebody to your home. It's so easy to love. It's so easy to love superficially during this time. But try and find out those friends who are so sturdy and so powerful and so real that they can see you beyond what you're saying, beyond what you're trying to do. Another couple of things is love and sensuality can be it for some. So try to make sure that you are choosing your friends correctly, that you are not wanted for something that you cannot totally provide for a long time, or not truly with. It is very, very easy to get in love or get in touch with people with whom you don't have any grounding later. It is very easy to build a castle in the sky that later crumbles by May. It might crumble. You could be in a loving situation that only lasts a month. It's very, very important, Cancer, not to run away from yourself and to look into the eyes of fear, to see into the eyes of that which is or isn't working, and to really scope out the details on your world. So thank you very much, Cancer. Keep it real, keep it smiley at the same time, and keep positive. Thank you very much. If you'd like a reading or if you'd like to know more about me, it's all in the caption below, and also check out your Ascendant, Moon, Stellar and Sun, depending on which one you just watched. And yes, take care. Thank you very much. Bye. Hi Leo, thank you very much for joining me. Paulina here, talking to you about your divine, spectacular, and very, very erroneous April 2018. Okay, things are weird. You know what it is? It's just that you already knew it. You already had it, and you already started it like 2 or 3 years ago. You've already kind of had the flavor, you know, you already can kind of tell like where it's all going usually, and you can kind of sense the main vein, or like that main artery of collective soul, and what people are kind of all about. And occasionally, you know, you can be quite slow with certain things and tasks, but with things like envisioning what's great, or where people will really, really, really feel something, you can, like in a heartbeat, you are the global heart. You can kind of tell. And you've known for probably many years what was going to be that new taste in music. You know, you probably already knew what was going to be revived. You already have been wearing those shoulder pads, you already been wearing those colors. You already have been trying really hard not to notice when other people would abuse your ideas. You probably really tried to be optimistic and glowing about things anyway, and you've been beaten down, beaten down, beaten down, to the point where the idea was in your hands, and then you started letting it go. Okay. And now the irony is everybody wants your idea. That particular idea. That real, you know, that idea, that compact idea is now on the cards. It is starting to sound on the radio. You know, it's not even on the radio yet. It is in the clubs. It's in the underground. You know what I mean? It's like your idea that you've had with you, like a flag, like that pet, you know, that special little feeling, that special knowing, the special reality. That is now everything. That's what everybody's trying to listen into. That's what everybody's trying to see. Just when you let go of something and you said, okay, it's okay, maybe not this time around, You can probably already see people are starting to wear the clothes that you wore 3 years ago. You probably can see that people are starting to understand the concepts that you have been parading and shaking at people 3 years ago. And here you are. So the most fortunate thing about this time around, this year at all, as I have said in your yearly forecast, this is it basically. All the backlog, all the ideas that you've collected for the last 3 years, you can sell. You can put them out there. You can, especially if you've let go. You know what I mean? Like say, okay, I've written like 4 books. Okay, maybe I'll just publish them now. Okay. This is it. This is where it is at. We've got Mercury retrograde, we've got Jupiter retrograde. By the end of the month, Mercury is no longer retrograde. We've got retrograde Saturn, we've got retrograde Pluto. So basically what you have got here now is to take that backlog, take those ideas, and don't be afraid to shine your light. And also if you have some kind of film or photographs or anything of you doing it originally, that's really good. If you've got some kind of proof, if you've got some kind of paperwork, and if you've got copyright for these ideas that people are just starting to kind of, oh my gosh, that's where it was at like 3 years ago, that's, oh my gosh, this is the craziest new thing. And this is the biggest, weirdest thing, is that you might be so over it. You might be so just under the bridge about it. You might be like, oh my gosh, this is so ironic. I was talking about, say, Archangel Michael for like 3 years. I've been seeing visions. I've been channeling the spirit for like 3 or 4 years. You know, this energy has been coming into my dreams. And every single person I told this to told me I was crazy. So I kept it under wraps. Even like I've written 2 or 3 books about Archangel Michael, you know? And then you can say, okay, this is fine. Now everybody wants to know who Archangel Michael is. You know, it's like people are making Archangel Michael tarot cards. People are talking about him. You know, people are ringing the bell. And then it's like, what do you do? Sometimes what Leo might do during this time is ironically step apart, step away from what other people have done and where other people are going and say, well, screw this. Sometimes a Leo can. And with good reason, because occasionally you might get something much larger offered to you. That's an interesting gamble. Interesting gamble. But I would say, I would recommend, if you have been working on something or you've had a premonition, you've had a dream, you had a cause, you had something, you've known about it for 2 or 3 years, and it's been something that's been organic to you and you just organically reached out and grabbed it. It's been given to you. Don't safeguard yourself from humiliation and from discontent, you know, because sometimes you could just step away, you know, because the king will step away sometimes, you know. It's like, oh yeah, I'll just let these people walk their own walk. I'm gonna go and do something completely else. It's not the best time to walk away unless you are a total loner. It's very good to just say, okay, you guys, okay, cool. This is my 3 years worth of research. Throw that into the fire, into the global flame of excitement. Okay, you guys have been, you know, not knowing that mine astrology exists. Here are my 4 years of research into the global flame. Okay, well, here is my work. And the best thing is when you are at this point, when you don't really mind how far the flames go or how much popularity you receive for what you've done, and how funny the context is now, because this is like pop culture to you. Like, it's no longer underground, it's no longer the same as what it was for you like 3 or 4 years ago. The less you care, the more you get for it sometimes. It's like you just throw it onto the global flame, and here it's like, oh wow, can you please present your work at this, you know, place, or can you please tell us more about this, can we hire you for this, or can we hire you for that? So you can get a lot more, especially if you don't really care. But if you really care and you think, oh my god, this is great, I've been waiting for this time for 4 years, I've been waiting for this, it's even better. If you're somebody really enjoy, and you're like a child, and it's like, I've always wanted there to be a special summer camp, and now that summer camp exists, I really wanted these people to be, and suddenly they exist. Oh my god, goody, yes. That could actually even superpower your purpose, you know, that excitement. But if you are not the same as you were, and you're reminiscing, because you got Cancer in your 12th house, and you might actually get really kind of distorted and really upset and really sensitive about things. If you're really, really personal, if you're taking things really personally, don't go, because this can actually spoil your time. I would probably, though, if I was you, and I'm not, if I were you, I would definitely take the time to put out something this year, and probably starting with April, with this month. I'll probably start placing together papers, putting together books, creating algorithms to follow later, putting your life's work together. Very nice time to put a package together, because it feels to me that you could really, really benefit from it now. And you could even probably pretend not to think so, but there is something great in what you've done. And I would also, if I were you, and if there was some kind of non-development with your dreams, start writing, scripting, documenting, photographing, start making portfolios, start making lengthy novels, some kind of accumulation of knowledge, accumulation of self-respect and self-response. Because it feels to me that that's where it's at during this month, especially in this year for you and for us. And don't be afraid to speak up large. Speaking up large, making large amalgamations of work, making large portfolios, speaking too much on a subject, making too many different variants of work. You know, say if you've got liquid painting, you love liquid painting. I love liquid painting, never done it, but I love it. I love watching the videos on YouTube. Say you love liquid painting, make 300 paintings if you want to. It's interesting because it feels to me that when you found that, you know, that bleeding heart, you know, when you find that something, it's like you got your finger on the pulse, you got that some truth that you want to express, like, it is a waste if you don't say it. So if you can expand on it, like let it bleed out of you, you know, let it bloom out of you. The more the better. Big collections of work, big collections, big books, big accumulations of work, large amounts of words, large amounts of ways of saying one thing. Say for example, if you were making music, don't just make 1 or 2 tracks in that style. Really, you know, keep it going, like keep it bleeding, keep it blooming, because it feels to me that April can lead you on to something else. And then by the end of April, you might find a new consideration, a new condition, either a new job, new way of applying what you've done, or you could even find a new inspiration or even a new context for your life. You might suddenly be like, I'm gonna go travel. It is possible. So like from what you've done, you need to really show it here, really stretch it, really bloom it, because by the end of the month you might not have the time or the opportunity to take that to such a limit. So really open up. Thank you very much, Leo. I'm excited to see your work this month. If you'd like to know more about me, if you'd like to book a reading, or if you'd like to have a look at your sun sign, moon sign, ascendant and stellium, have a look. It's all in the caption section below. Thanks. Bye. Hi Virgo, thank you very much for being here. Paulina talking to you about your dreams, about your hopes and dreams here in April. Okay, so Virgo, my friend, my love, my beautiful, caring and loving person, it's nobody else's business occasionally what is and what isn't right. You are gone from one person and you're going into another person's field. Perhaps you are gone from one network and you are going into the next. You could have something that you don't think about, don't notice, and it's going terribly wrong because you are too afraid of something else that's happening. You could have something on the stove burning and you are too worried about your casserole. There is something about you that's really focused, really wants to know the details, and your mercurial sign, or we've got Mercury in retrograde, we've got Jupiter in retrograde. Stop worrying so much and don't tell other people what you thought, what you felt. Okay, this is really important stuff. Okay, you could tell a person everything you think you know about something during this time. You can crowd them with information. You can show them the paperwork, the signatures, the proof, the photographs, everything. You could get really, really, really chaotic. And we don't get you till Mercury is out of shadow, perhaps by the end of the month. Some people will start sort of understanding what you're saying, but really, truly till May. May we got Gemini accentuating your reproduction. We've got Gemini accentuating your reform. Your Uranus is going to go into a different floral flame. You're going to really, really notice who you are by June. When you are in your own sign, you're going to be the perfect picture that you've always been. Everything's gonna match. All things are going to really come together. At the moment, shaking someone like that, can you understand what I'm saying? You know, like, can you see the paperwork? Can you see all the proof? That's going to take you into a very, very nervous dance, which then ends badly, or just sort of like resolves. There's not going to be a lot of, I feel, stamina, love, or care found through being detached from your world and being attached to the mathematics behind things, the theory behind things, the proof behind something. There is no need to push information. There is no need. There is very little done through negativity and through worry, basically. So don't worry. We're not going to get it. We're not going to put your idea together with our idea, really, till May, like last minutes of May, okay? You can really tell us a lot. You can beat that drum. You can get us together. You can be like, okay, look, you guys, we got this happening. That's going to get you something. And what's going to get is not what you think. People will be like, oh, great, Virgo, good. Oh, you're beautiful. Yeah? And you'll be like, no, you don't understand. I'm beating the war drum. You know, this is big things. You know, these are the big things. I'm telling you about the big things, but you're going to look like a comedian in front of people. And it is not likely that anybody's going to really achieve a lot with you or next to you either. So you might have, say, employed people by now. You might have 4 or 5 different people doing different things, but the more you are shaking up reality, look at the facts. The more you're doing these crazy errands, I feel, the less you're going to achieve. Best case scenario is everything dissolves and nobody remembers what you said. Worst case scenario is you might wake up a sleeping dog. So we're in a dog year. We've got some big ones, okay? We've got sleeping dogs. So we've got people that are really calm, you know, and they're on the outskirts. We've got even big energies that are not personified as people. They're just really calm energies. And then you're shaking the tree. It's like you're shaking the tree of knowledge so much, or you're beating that drum so badly. You know, and Virgo is a very small sign. It's a very compact energy. It's like a little dog barking, you know. It's really annoying sometimes for people. And then something else comes out of the ether, or a person comes up to you and they can really hurt your business, or they can really hurt your energy field, you know. There is a lot of these types of things going on right now, actually. It's like people are subdued, and sometimes it is not the most dangerous dog that barks. It's not the most the strongest person that's the most out there. Sometimes the people that are the strongest during this year are not social people, or they are social but they're on the outside and they're leading from the back. There are leaders from the front because we are all traveling in packs, or we're in some kind of pack energy during this time. Then there is those quiet ones that are sleeping on the side, but they are the strong ones, okay? You can awaken a beast within another. And you can also awaken a beast that is an unconscious or unseen beast. So it's very easy to get programmed. It's super easy to get nightmares. It's really easy to get anxious, get anxiety, to get all sorts of things happening, to get your teeth weakened, you know, to have your hair falling out, to have your nervous system going all over the place. It's very, very easy to sleep less than usual. It's very easy to get into some kind of very sticky circumstance with another person who's a power player, and you may not know that they're a power player at all, because sometimes Virgo can see people superficially, unfortunately, even though you're very smart, very wise, and very good with detail. And then this can make you very small in a game all of a sudden. So if you are interested in pushing through some ideas, and we are, you know, this is very seductive. We are in a time where we've got Mars conjunct Saturn, okay? We got Mercury conjunct Sun, even though it's retrograde. We got Venus and Uranus together. You know, we're starting this month in a full moon. Really, really, we can do it. We can do it. But same as for Gemini, especially if you have some Gemini in your chart, take off that edge. Oh, gotta do it yesterday, gotta do it now. You know, that edge occasionally for you with the current sky can actually push the platform that you're standing on, which is not really big enough till May, from under your feet. If you're wanting to create that big rose, that big experience, that big for other people, you got to be lazy, you got to be half asleep. There's got to be something about you that is completely letting go. This is the point, I feel, because by late May you might be so fulfilled that you might not even want to do it after all. When you're lazy, when you're sleepy, you are sending your energy towards Libra, because we all ascend to the next sign afterwards in some respect. You will start walking like this, you'll start almost like dancing. It's like everything about you gets very sensual and very like organic, and then suddenly people ask you, have you got any ideas for us? And you'll say, yes, I do, here are my ideas. And then these ideas are going to be like super seeds that germinate really fast. That's at the end of May. But here you might have a lot of cause and effect. I would probably suggest to Virgos, even though you can see it, you can probably dip your hand into the future so far. You can probably see so much as to what's going to happen next year. You can probably already premonition. I don't even know if that's a word. Premonition so much ahead of your time that you might want to think about this. If you can see now, won't you see more later? Will you not see more later? Will you perhaps see better later? And the answer is yes. So these different ideas that you have now and these different concepts are overdone in some ways and are not yet germinating in other ways. It's like it's too early and it is a bit too late. It's too many different things happening right now. It might be a very good time to give time, or to give, just to give, and to lay back, especially if your concept comes from mine, me. Because for Virgo, sometimes mine and me does not become anything. But this is hard because we're in your 8th house here. Because we're in your 8th house, there is passion. There is passion, and sometimes it's what you want the most. We have to really simmer it back and take it down a notch here in order to help you achieve everything you want in the future. But how to? It's almost like you're pregnant with that idea, what to do. If you feel like you're pregnant with the idea, or you're pregnant with that idea, which then will perhaps become a big changer in your world, even though it might not germinate, you see that there is something really real about talking about this, you know. If you are on that edge, okay, use it to give to another. Again, give to another, because it's the most neutral type of thing for you sometimes, Virgo, just to give to a friend, to come over to somebody's house, to service them. You know, if you want to walk someone's dog, if you want to sit with grandma and just listen to her for like 2 days, you know, especially if you're on this epic light frequency, like quantum spinning energy. It's very nice to put that momentum down, because it can awaken things here that can be very unnurturing, as I've said earlier. And the faster your brain, the more time you might need to spend in service. So thank you very much, and I hope that you enjoy this month. If you would like to know more about me, or if you'd like a reading, or if you'd like to check out your moon, ascendant, sun sign, or stellium, have a look in the caption below and it will be all there. Thank you very much. And also, if you're really not sure, check out the daily blog. I do a free daily blog, so you can kind of see the prognosis for each day at a time. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful April. Bye. Hi guys, thank you very much for being here, beautiful Libras. I am fellow Libra, lucky us. The Earth is going through Libra when the Sun is going through Aries. So here we've come. Here we've come. You know what this is like? This is like, you know when you're on a bobsled, and you're going wee, like you just zooming down the hill. You're zooming down the snowy hill on this bobsled. And then when it's almost too good to be true, it comes to a slow stop. Whee! And then what you got the hill behind you and you gotta walk back up the hill to do that all over again, That's what it feels like to us, I feel. We've had Jupiter in our sign for a while. And we probably have achieved quite a lot of power and wealth over the last few years, perhaps, for some. And then for some, it's just been a recent sort of like a comeback. And there you have it. There is just another hill. There's just another hill. We are very, very lucky during this time, you guys, not to have to. Okay, you don't have to. Quite often, these hills that you're looking at, these jobs or, these masquerades with people, these conditional relationships, these travel plans, all of these things, you might already recognize that there is a pattern of them. And you also might see that there is an aspect about these certain careers or these certain situations with others where you don't really need to do all that stuff. Libra, you don't have to do as much stuff as you've done before. Okay, so if you are here at the beginning of something and you're noticing, okay, I've done this thing before, I've done something very similar in my life before, or I can already kind of see what it's about. Okay, this is great. If you can see it and you're like, okay, this is predictable, there is a predictable element to this. If you are here, try to see what you've done before and cut out all those steps that you don't have to do. Just cut out all those steps you don't have to do. Look at your situations that look like hills. Look at your situations that look like you got to climb up the hill and then the bobslide ride downhill is exciting, and then I get the benefit, all of those situations where you're like, okay, I've got to take the steps and then I'm going to benefit. Just see the steps, because you might actually find that there is a way of getting up that hill without even walking. Something might pull you along. There can be many, many different ways in which you can achieve, or you don't have to. This is another idea. You don't have to climb hills. You could just take yourself elsewhere. There are different ways you can go. So this is very important for Libra during this month of April. You don't have to. You don't have to. You could do a lot of things from this point on. For example, you could go over here, you can have some food over here, you can meet somebody else, you can start a completely different business, you can choose a flat plane for yourself, you don't have to go up hills all the time. You can go into the water instead of the hill. You can go into the sky instead of the water. You can go in many, 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 many different ways you just never thought about. So, for you, Libra, there is probably about 7 or 8 different stories that you have never lived. We're at the beginning of the year, okay? You don't have to repeat the same old story, especially if you don't really feel it. Sometimes you might have done things more than twice. You might have, say, started a business and it was a similar process each time. You have like 3 or 4 different businesses that you've started and it all kind of came to the same conclusion. Perhaps now it's not about the business. Maybe now it's about the mind. Maybe it's about expanding it. Maybe it's about doing a yoga retreat. Maybe it's about learning how to sew. Perhaps it is something completely else. And it doesn't have to be different from what you thought. It also could be just totally the same as what you thought. You can actually, for some of us, we can retire. Libra is a sign of retirement anyway, almost. It is like the sign of, youth while being kind of a deceased person. This is like the end. This is the end of the wheel. It's like 7th house. This is like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna sleep this away. Like, you guys go for it. I'm just gonna relax here. So you can retire early. You could, if you wanted to here, cut down your workload so much that you don't have to do anything. You can also choose to do things that are totally not in your nature. You could start a company that's almost a joke to you, but it takes off very quickly because you haven't done it before. The things that you have done, you can still do, but do them in a way where you have never thought that you would do it this way. Cut out the process, make it a little bit more interesting for you, because sometimes if you have too much process, Libra, you can fall asleep and you can actually be sleepwalking for your life. Another couple of things also, homes and houses. Homes and houses, Libra, are really great here for you. You would also be very good at the moment. I feel very lucky at manifesting a house for someone else or helping to house another person. If you don't really have that pizzazz, you don't really have that edge, interesting time to home another. It's also perhaps not that interesting for some, but for others, is to have children, but also to have a new project in mind. The energy here to me says the world is more your oyster than you think. It's just sometimes you forget about it. And occasionally with this type of shift, you might not want to do a lot of the things that you've done, though you might not want to start anything either, because almost like I just want the samsara wheel to go. I just want it to end. I just want to do nothing. I just want to sit there and like eat sunflower seeds like a Eastern European granny. You know, I just want to eat sunflower seeds and look at people, you know, and that's actually also well done. That's actually really well done, because there might be a very interesting unconscious truth waking up about you. And this could be something like, the only thing I really like is to watch water. It's very zen, you know? Or like the only thing I really like sometimes is just to sit there painting my nails, listening to old blues records, you know? And singing along to old blues, you know? Or like, that's an excellent choice. It's a great choice. Or you could say, I don't know what this is, you know, but like the thing that I really like is I like to do yoga. This for me. I like to do yoga, but I don't like yoga. Like I want to do my own yoga. Like I want to really get into my own skeleton, into my own muscles. Like what is this feeling? How do I pull tantra out of me and into my body? Like what is it about this feeling? You know, it's like going into completely different realms for some of you guys, and for other people just about, okay, here's my process from 2 years ago. I can cut this down. I can do this in a week instead of 3 days. Like, I can do this in a week instead of 3 days. Why don't I just do this in 3 days? You know what I mean? So you can cut down a lot of processes. You can change processes if you are thinking in terms of arithmetic and in terms of doing things right and doing things that work. But if you are like me and you are just like looking at life as if a broken mirror, sometimes, and you're like, I don't quite see myself here anymore. Like I can see the logic and the logistics, but where is me? Because that's the thing, Libra is a personality crisis sometimes, because we are kind of all things, we're kind of between all things, we're not really self, or neither are we not. So it's like this really interesting way of like looking at the existentialist crisis, looking at what is Zen for you. It's like a very different philosophy on writing, very, very pure philosophy on sleep, you know, very, very different secretive worlds and ways of evolving oneself through very, very strong practice. And for some of us, it is about art, actually connecting to connecting to art. So connecting to art and all that you are. That is actually probably the main thing. We've got a very, very favorable, super duper actually favorable Venus at the moment. There's going to be a holding, like a handheld feeling, you know, like you are held. You know, we've got Venus and Taurus going through 8th house here, Libra. Seriously, you can really benefit from things you never thought about. You could become the first in the world. You could be somebody who accidentally finds the spell or the conclusion or the missing ingredient from something. You could be it. But the thing is not to go with the process that you're bored with. Change your process. So thank you very much, Libra. I hope that you had fun. Have a fabulous April. I am so excited for you. And if you want to know more about me, if you want to get a reading, if you want to know about your sun, moon, ascendant, or stellium, have a look in the section below. And yes, I will see you next month. Thanks. Bye. Hi Scorpio, thank you very much for joining me. Paulina here, talking to you about this very strong, very extreme, very infinite, very powerful, and very scary for some month of April. So you are the world purger. Your ancient ruler is Mars. Mars is conjunct Saturn at the beginning of April. We also have Martian ruled Aries over there with Mercury retrograde, really touching all your corners and all your curves. Okay, we have a very clear issue that you might not like, and some of us really don't mind. Okay, so you have to destroy yourself sometimes in order to create a new version. This is not something that is a dark thing. You are the surgeon, you are the politician sometimes, you are the corruptible and the corrupting sometimes, and you also are the magic, the changing of tides for others, and the bringing about of death and destruction in order to create new life. You are the death and rebirth of the zodiac. You are the 8th house, you're Scorpio, and we have Jupiter going retrograde in you. So Jupiter's expanded you, now is going on the 1 degree. Okay, so we have a lot of purging to do, Scorpios, and this is not just it. We also have to forgive ourselves for what we've done. So the scorpionic thing is to point at something, or I can see the missing link here, or I know who is that person, or I can see what they're gonna do. So you are like the philosopher, you're the surgeon, you're the teacher sometimes, you're the charismatic shadow worker. But the most important thing here is that you have to also give to you what you give to another. And you can't just make it about them. They're all looking at me. You know, everything is looking at you. You are also looking. You know what I mean? So it has to be something that you perhaps would have done in the past that comes back to you perhaps in April. Or you may need to just surrender to the idea of changing up your flow. That's really easy to say, and it's really weird to do. So the best thing here is to see the predictability of your world. This is the healthiest. I know it doesn't sound nice. I know it doesn't sound nice. This is medicine, okay? It will be great this month if you could change up your flow. For example, if you are never the person that shows up first at a party, you are always on the side, you never actually turn up, you actually don't go to every party. If you are not, no, I can't. You have to. Why? Because Jupiter is not going to be in your sign for that long. You know what I mean? You don't really have that much time to completely shift your consciousness. There are things that sometimes Jupiter will save you from as well. And one of those things I feel during this month is through Jupiter, you might no longer be able to deceive people like you have before. You might not be able to hold your tongue as much. You might actually tear up sometimes, and there's nothing wrong with that. So vulnerability, being vulnerable, but more than that, pushing yourself into directions where you have never wanted to be consciously, but unconsciously you always speak of those things. For example, if you say, I don't care, I don't have many friends, I don't care, I only have 2 or 3 and that's enough. Maybe not. Maybe you keep on checking your Facebook religiously. Maybe you keep on checking your Messenger. Maybe you want to see who responds to you. Perhaps you actually would love to have many friends unconsciously, but consciously you're okay with 2 or 3. Maybe it is time to see how you can push yourself to make more friends. Perhaps. Here's the thing. This is not about friendship, and it's not about popularity. It's not about changing you as a human. It's not about that. It's just your identity, your identifying factors, and the way that you have been with other people. Also, as you're purging each person out of themselves during this month, you can get really stuck if you don't, in a sense, discontinue yourself and start yourself again as well. What I mean is, when you are sitting pretty high in your seat, you got Jupiter in your sign, and perhaps you got Jupiter over your sign. It is so easy to have people come to you for something, to elaborate, you know, to see, to stick them together and go, come on, go on, Go on, you know, slap them on the bottom on the way out. You know, it's so easy to get stuck into the feeling that you are the teacher, but the teacher you are not, and the zodiac you are not yet. The teacher is Sagittarius because the teacher doesn't really care anymore. You know, you are not yet the teacher. It's very, very easy to get deluded and thinking, I've got the world around my little finger. You know, I've got all the things that I need. I've got everything in the palm of my hand. It's so very easy. And sometimes when you see yourself as that, you see yourself as the guru, the master, you know, the grand operator or something like that. If you feel like you've climbed and here you are, especially at the beginning of a year, if you're thinking, oh yeah, I'm just going to watch these little kids do their thing, that's really, really harsh later in life. And tell you what, the best thing that you can do is destroy being who you thought you were and change into something else. So this is the full phoenix experience. This is the full snake shedding its skin experience. This is the purging of oneself out of oneself, especially with things that are a horror to you. A horror. You know, so for example, I would never have a conversation with someone like that. You know, if that's something that you like to think. As we do have actually acceleration of Venus here in your 7th house. We've got, you know, it's not important, but we've got Earth. Well, I guess it is important. We've got Earth going through your 12th house here in Libra. We have a lot of different things happening. So it is very, very, very simple for you to get stuck into a position where you think you belong. Like, I am the surgeon. I am the sergeant. You know, I am the teacher. I'm the prophecy. I am the professor. I'm this, I'm that. And it's very, very, very clear for us sometimes to see, no, you're not. Come on, come play with us. But you say, no. I've got my values, or like I've got my strength, or I've got my sophistication. And for some reason this month you are very subdued, perhaps because of the retrograde Jupiter. There can be something of like watching horses and just betting on horses, or like watching people and just like betting where they're going to go. That's a very, very harsh frontier for you. And I know it doesn't actually look that bad, because there are probably parts of you, because you're a fixed sign, that feel very good just sitting back in the armchair with a cigar, you know. Oh yeah, I know what's gonna be, you know, I'm Mr. Cool. I'm Mr. Cool. I'm now known for what I do. Especially that. So do not get stuck in your own traps. How to do it? Go out dancing. Go out dancing. Go mingle. Go out where you have never been before. Make a fool of yourself. Wear yellow. Wear like canary yellow pants and a canary yellow scarf. Wear your cap backwards, okay? Do something. Die, Scorpio. Why? Because you are the death and the rebirth. I'm sorry for being a little bit stark. Die. So there are things about you that might need to die. So, for example, fashion. Your previous fashion sense might need to go. Your conservatism might need to go. You might need to die a little bit in terms of how you hold yourself or how you structure your relationships. You might need to also fall for somebody so much that you're sitting at home crying, not knowing what to do about it, you know. Also, that is a possibility. However, I would say if you like somebody because of this type of month, what works, and perhaps this is a little secret, is not to cry, is not to go inwards. It's actually to go forwards and go, hey, I really like you. Do you want to come out with me sometime? Very interesting to start conversations with people. Very interesting to service somebody. Interesting. Very interesting to buy somebody a huge present for nothing. Very interesting to completely dissolve yourself, to make a fool of yourself in public. Very interesting during this time. It's a very interesting death of ego time during this particular week, actually, exactly like as we are at the end of March, but also the first probably week of April, week and a half of April. It's a very, very clear picture for me here, that I feel that unfortunately sometimes Scorpios can situate themselves in such a depressing place, not because they needed to be in a depressing place, it's because sometimes they're reluctant to change. So they can change the world, they can cause great calamity for other people, but sometimes they can't change. So definitely, if you're older, I don't care, I mean, if you're 50 or 70 years old, you might also want to see how you can cause a bit of a shift, a bit of a nudge. If you can make yourself cry publicly, If you can commit to something that you perhaps think is usually below you or even above you, if you can see how you can destroy this feeling of grandeur too early in the year, and also come into someone's hands sometimes as well, like to be a little puppy in someone's hands, you know, to be a little kitty in someone's hands, just like that. Ego destroying experiences, commitment to people that perhaps cannot hold you for long, that's really hard. And also situations where you are not knowing as to what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm really afraid, you know. So there is a death and a beginning, I feel, for all of us that touch you, that know you, and that feel you. You are like the Grim Reaper during this time, and you're also the harvester, you're also the harvest bringer. It's like you are with a sickle and you go, here's your wheat, here's your presents. You know, you can give a lot, you can take everything as well. You have got a lot more power here than others, but I would probably suggest not to push yourself into that knowledge, like I have power, because this can later in the year even, but especially later in life, leave you stranded like on the desert island of self. So yes, you have the power, and this should not be something that you go, I can reap for you, I can put, you know, things on the board for you, I can answer things for you. That will eventually feel like a mistake for some reason, because it's just not a global truth. It's not going to connect you to anything later. The better part here is not to be the Hierophant, not to be the priest, not to be also sometimes the burden of truth, because sometimes truth can be a burden, and you can sometimes, Jupiterian Scorpio can be a burden of truth. It's like, I know, you know, like, ugh, you know, the burden of truth that cuts something and then builds something else, you know. It's very, very easy for a Scorpio to beseech. It's like, you know, they can really tremble at this truth, tremble at the part of the play in which they are acting, you know, or that house in which they're living, or that place in which they're working. But then who are you? Who are you? So definitely look at the inside, and also take care of your friends. So thank you very much, Scorpio. Don't take anything for granted. Learn to walk with the tides. Keep your spine smooth and bendy. Keep yourself liquid. Keep yourself dancing. So definitely very nice time to make a fool of yourself. Thanks a lot, Scorpio. Have a wonderful, wonderful month. If you'd like to know more about me, if you'd like to book a reading, or if you'd like to learn about your sun, moon, ascendant, or stellium this month, have a look in the caption below, and I will see you soon. Thanks a lot. Bye. Hi, Sagittarius. You were very unusual to me this month. Okay, I did not expect it. Okay, so we have Jupiter in your 12th house. Whoa, wowee. Okay, we have a lot of fun and games here for you, and Aries. So, all right. You have come out on top with a few things, and you have done very, very weak job of other things, and that's all right. So the year has come to a conclusion. You're sitting back, you're having your wine, and you're laughing. You probably laugh. You're very enlightened. But then there's also reptilian brain situations. Reptilian brain situations, what I mean is you might have very little empathy suddenly. We don't have Saturn in your sign anymore. We don't have Mars in your sign anymore. We don't even have Ceres in your sign anymore. You have probably gone suddenly from that giving, caring, heart-feeling prophet, from this just absolutely ginormous heart and this humblest, givingest person who was so pathetically loving, you know, that it is just like we could just bawl our eyes out if we really knew what was inside, to this completely onto it, completely steel gaze person who probably doesn't really care about what other people think or do. This is very, very horrible sometimes for us to see, but when you are under pressure, as you have been with Saturn over the last 2.5, 3 years, you were very, very undernourished perhaps, and perhaps you were not given enough love. But then suddenly you became like the rose. It's like you became the full you, and you became the full me. You became the full retrospect of all things. You really, really bloomed. But by now I feel there's starting to be a change in the air in you, and I feel that we're sensing that there are things to you that are funny which are not to us. Like say, you could be seeing your friends place themselves in really unconscious uniform situations, and you could say a few things, or you could feel a few things, but you don't even feel anything. You just think it's funny. You could see a person hurt themselves or even be in a very life-threatening situation, and perhaps for you it is no joke, but you can't help but laugh or point fingers. So this is a very interesting time for you, Sagittarius, to consider the reptilian mind and also the parts of your brain that are just not working. That's actually very interesting. Reflexology, foot massage works sometimes to collaborate with the psyche, because Pisces is the feet. Sometimes through reflexology, foot massage, painful yoga practice, painful anything. Sometimes forcing your mind or forcing your body to wake up and feel something. Wake up and feel something. Come on, you know. This is something that's very, very good practice early in the year if you don't really want to know, if you don't care. If you do, however, want to know a lot, and perhaps you're a little bit morbid and you find it very sunny and very happy and strangely appetizing, looking at life as a global joke, if you are somehow drinking too much, or you are drinking away your sad situations, or you are experiencing a strange revival of interest in drunk people or drunk situations, drunken phenomena, unconscious thinking, unconscious talking, if you're enjoying people who are under the table drunk with any type of situation, or people who are under the table in any situation, like say they're living under the table, they're working under the table, you know, they're lying on the floor, they're dysfunctional. If there is a sense of love for dysfunction, and there is a light and a joy with things that are destroying themselves, if there is a strange charisma that takes place when things are in a really bad place, and when you feel kind of bored and disorderly even when things are fine, that's an interesting idea to explore. So perhaps pain, perhaps music, perhaps some kind of emotional situation, perhaps finding that bit of empathy inside. And for some of you guys, I feel it is about no-nonsense faith for some people. And this could be faith in God, this could be for some people religious faith, it could be historical faith, it could be respect of elders or respect of some kind of story of another person. What is good? What is a good person? You know, what makes you good? What makes you true? Because you are the teacher. You are hands down the teacher of the zodiac. So what are the big conclusions of life? What are the values that you have taught yourself, and what are you teaching others? What are fun and games, and what are dangerous pursuits? You know, sometimes, for example, if you are drinking someone under the table, you might walk away fine, but will they walk away fine? You know, like you can have a friend with whom you made a bet and you made a lot of money from that bet, but will they be fine? You know, is it gonna be fine for them as well as for you later, unconsciously maybe? So also keep in mind any kind of karmic issues, like I can't believe what I've done, you know, I can't believe, I feel so bad, I don't know where this feeling is coming from. Anything that is almost like a shadow standing over you, especially at nighttime, you might want to discover. We're ending this month on a Scorpio full moon. You might want to see how your unconscious triggers you into certain type of dominance over other people, and into what type of thing are you turning into as well. Especially, okay, for ascendant, not so much, but for sun, especially in Sagittarius, or for stellians. If you've got, say, Venus and Mars in Sagittarius conjunct, you might want to know, why are your impulses how they are? Why are you drawn into that type of person? What is it about this kind of crew that really beckons you? How come you're still watching these types of films? What is that which is in it for you? And how come you are not nurtured yet as well through just common situations? What are the secret fetishes and the secret belongings or not belongings? What are the secretive impulses that you have? And also, why are you still there? This is another thing. You can actually sit down and laugh. This is actually a very perfect part about you during this time. You can actually sit down and laugh at pretty much anything, but then you are looking at your life. Perhaps you might want to look at how you are. How are your legs, especially in your feet? What is your motor system doing? How's your mind? What are you feeling inside and out? Like, where are you? Like, how is your health? What is the place that you are sitting in? Like, where are the people that you enjoy? You know, who is there for you? Really take care of any free time, because you might have a lot of free time on your hands during this month, a lot more than others. So as you sit back with your cigar, you know, your favorite cocktail, you know, and you're looking at life and you're laughing, you may want to also do a little bit of a check. Are all my muscles together? You know, is everything together inside? Is there something that's not sticking together? Okay. Are there karmic issues with my mind? Okay. Do I feel at a peaceful place, or am I laughing at the irony of my life? Do I feel like I could just throw it all away? Is that why I'm laughing? So question yourself. The humor does come here though. I feel that the humor is in all of you to some degree. It feels to me that humor is something that powers you through life. Sagittarius in general, but this is it. So you might want to also check, what do I mean to myself? And through this, where are those tasks, situations, commitments, and enjoyments taking me for the next year? So look at what you're building. What are you already busy structuring? You might not think this is a very, very deep reality. You might think it's suddenly a throwaway reality. Yeah, sure, I can just spend 3 nights in Paris and then I'm just gonna go to Asia and then I don't know, like, you know, or like I can just spend 2 weeks on this project and I know I'm not gonna get anything from it and I'm gonna do another project. Things that you're spending your time with, girlfriends and boyfriends, you know, those who you suck in, because sometimes after Saturn through your sign, you could actually find it very easy to suck people into you. You could be very enigmatic and very fatherly and very loyal to people on the outside. It could be something that is very dreamy for others. And then also something that's lived through Saturn, you know, somebody who's, you know, been undone, and somebody who's been like a serious person, you know, taken seriously all of a sudden. So you have an effect on us, but you also might want to know, even though you might have ample time now, what are those things that I am thinking about? What are these things I'm manifesting, especially in the unconscious? And also, who am I pulling in and why? Because you might say, come here, I want you. You know, come here, I want you for 3 days. And then you're like, and I'm going to let you go now. Okay. And I'm going to want to do something else now. Okay. So there is something kind of dark and a little bit sinister that's waking up in all of us unconsciously here. But I feel that, especially in Sagittarius, there is a part of you that is very, very global and very enormous that other people are breathless for. And then when you consider who you're pulling in or how you're pulling in and what you are allowing yourself to do, you might want to also see what the larger effect of that is without having too frivolous of a time, because you could actually build yourself 10 or 20 years of fractals during this month that repeat themselves, and then you might want to know how to fix them later. So just fix them now. Have a look at yourself and the unconscious mind. So thank you very much, Sagittarius. I'm proud of you. You've done really well. You've done a lot, and you're like at the top of a mountain now. You're beautiful. So one thing is readings, if you'd like. I do Skypes. I also do written readings if you'd like. I do a lot of different things. They're free on my website. I do a free day-by-day blog if you're ever bored and feeling unnurtured. I'm quite nurturing sometimes. I'm also like Libra, Scorpio, so I have a lot of Scorpio. If you need help with your unconscious mind, here I am. And if you'd like to know more about your sun, moon, ascendant, or stelliums, have a look in the caption section below. It's all there. And yes, enjoy your freedom. Thank you very much. Bye. Hi Capricorn, thank you very much for being here. Paulina here. Wow, you're looking spruced up. You're looking beautiful. Okay, Capricorn, you are magical. You are imagining, you're managing, you are made to be, you are beautiful. Okay, so here in April 2018, to me, you are like the best packaged person in the group. You are the best connected, the most enlightened perhaps, and just the greatest presence for all of us, I feel, here. You are unspeakable. You are truly unspeakable. I feel even a bit shy talking about you. So this is beautiful, and this is actually the best time to go for it. Even if you have very strange ideas about life, even if you are questioning your sanity, even if you are questioning your sexuality, it's an underestimated time. It's an interesting time to pounce. It is an interesting time to hop, hop, hop and get it. Because you are spruced, you are connected, you to me are feeling organized, and even if you don't feel that you are, everything's in the right place. And all things are sitting back as well. So you've learned poise perhaps, or you've learned self-respect and respect of other people. And you are looking so good that now is the perfect time to get it. It's the perfect time to get it. So what I mean is photographs, getting yourself out there, becoming noticed, getting your CV noticed, getting your job, the job that you want. It's totally hands down the best time. It is the best miraculous time to get fun, to be the it person, to be the nice one, and to be the popular choice. It is hands down the best time to do this. And how to do it? You just walk up to those people and say, "Hi guys, this is it. This is me." That's the way to do it. Okay, so if you are wanting to do that thing, if you are ready and if you're trained up and you're together and you are now connected, it is such a great time to just put on that wonderful suit or that beautiful dress or that beautiful anything, wear what you love and wear it in style, walk up to the door, knock on the door, it will open for you. Even if you don't want it to sometimes. It is a very nice time to have a list of things to do. It's a great time to have different people every day. It is a very gorgeous time to be very restrained and sometimes held back, but also at the same time to have a variety of different doors, a variety of different parties, a variety of different people, a variety of different things that you can go into and look at. Try variety, Capricorn. You are very, very put together. You are nice and restrained. You are practical. You have a very nice, polite feeling about you. You are non-abrasive. You are non-disrespectful. You are respectful. You got Mars in your sign. We've got Aries in the sky. You have a very nice opportunity to be exactly what people want sometimes, and exactly as people felt that you were best. You might actually get people saying to you, "Wow, I love you in that color," or like, "Wow, you are just so beautiful today. What did you do different?" Like, what are you doing? Like, this is magic. So take care of this. Take care of the people that are polite and giving you those compliments, because not many of us maybe can see, but they might be able to see what's that missing ingredient that you usually don't have that you have now. And it might be like, "Wow, I love it that you are not on time. I think that's actually really sexy that you sort of like missed a couple of sessions, and here you are back again." There is something quite curious about that made me feel kind of mystified by you, So it could be something like that, or like, "I love how you just dressed at that party," or say a 1940s party and you dressed up in a 1940s dress, and there was something about you that I just could not stop looking at you. Perhaps it was your past life, perhaps something, maybe you were channeling your grandmother, but you were divine in that 1940s dress. So people might notice a few things about you. So variety is key. I would probably go out every day and do something different if I was you. I'd probably knock on every door. If you have been out of love, if you've been out of luck, oh, don't worry, because here you might have a lot more, and it might be very simple. So for example, this is not good to do usually, but say if there's been 4 or 5 different girls that you've been kind of humming and hurrying about, just ask them out for dates, and the more physical and private and sensual, the better. So knock on the door, bring the flowers, say, "How about we have some coffee?" So it has to be physical, tangible, practical in the real world. Nothing like on Facebook, "Oh, she didn't text me back for 7 days. Should I message her?" No. So this is a very nice time to be a little bit abrupt. You can afford to be. We got Mars in your sign. You can say, "Oh, excuse me, no more." You can put pause on this video if you want. You can head towards a person, and then when they bore you or you feel dissatisfied, you could say, oh, no more. I actually have to go now. It's fine. You're the master of time. You can tell people to stay as well. When you see, especially you've got a Cancer friend and they're all like, oh, I'm not sure, I got all these feelings. Okay, so you say, no, you stay. No, you stay. So you can pull people in, you can leave people back, and sometimes, yeah, about free will. You are a little bit of a puppeteer here, and you can sometimes, in a bad way, pull people around, but here, for some reason, it can be very good. You can ask people to come forward. You can ask people to be left behind. You can have a lot more glee and love given to you for that than usual. Sometimes you can be somebody who tramples on us like flowers occasionally. But here you actually have a lot of diligence, sensitivity, and connection to source in order to be able to pull people in, pull people back. Okay, this goes here, that doesn't go here. Okay, recommendation, delegation, signing of papers, making practical, forceful decisions, having a backbone, having a very pure-hearted and very pure-minded approach, unlike everybody else, really, at the moment. You might have a force, an inertia, an unconscious knowing where other people are still judging by the mind. And you can also perhaps have this really incredible way of delegating what other people don't know what to do with. That's actually quite interesting. Somebody comes to you, I don't know what to do with this. And you know what to do with it. Anything to do with materials, if you are working with materials, if you are working, and that's actually quite interesting, environmental sector. You know, say for example, if you're creating a new recycling plant, people might not know what to do with something. You know what to do with it. There is something very, very powerful and passionate about you. So things that don't have a place, people that don't know who they are, and also others who aren't really sure as to what to do with their neurons, with their electrons. They're all freaky, they're neurotic, you know, they're energized, but they don't know what they're thinking. So where other people don't have closure and other people don't have a method, you have a method. And that I feel needs to be seen, especially if you are somebody who, like me, is always happy to help. Okay, so if you are somebody who has created a situation where you are probably helping people on the daily, what a neat time to make it your purpose. What an interesting time to have a job, helping people. What is it about this time? I mean, it feels to me that a lot of people probably this year will not quite know which buttons to push, and perhaps it might be not for your life, but it's an interesting time to have a guidance counselor's place, to have a space where you can hold someone's hand, to suddenly from this practical person comes a lot of heart, you know, from your usually perhaps, you know, slightly boring rhetoric comes something of light, and so on and so forth. So we are seeing you transforming us day by day during this time. If you're interested, you can have yourself a place where you can do it on the constant, on the regular. Why not? Why not get that degree? Why not be a guidance counselor if you're interested in helping other people? We're in a dog year. If you are a humanitarian energy or an environmentally driven energy, you can make it your purpose now. So you're ready. I feel that you're spruced up and ready to go. I feel that you are the most connected I've seen you in years, and you're here. Thank you very much, Capricorn. I would love to see you for a reading if you'd like a reading. You'll probably end up guiding me more than I end up guiding you, so thank you very much. If you want to know more about me, it's in the caption section below. Also, if you'd like to take advantage of my free blogs, they're all there. I have recently done a tutorial on sex, love, and relationships. It's all there. Also, if you would like to know more about your sun, moon, stellium, or ascendant, it's all in the caption section below. And I will see you next time. Thanks a lot. Bye. Are you Aquarius? Aquarians, this month of April 2018 are looking to me a little bit stuck, a tiny bit jealous, a little bit in between, but not too badly placed for things to really happen. You just have to let go of the past. We have a huge stellium in Capricorn. Dude, we have Pluto, Ceres, Saturn, and Mars in your 12th house. By the end of the month, Pluto and Saturn are going retrograde in your 12th house. We have got Aries in the sky. We've got Aries ruler Mars in your 12th house. Okay, you're like, I get it, what's going on? Okay, so my love, Aquarius, you have got a lot of dreams left unrealized, perhaps, for the new dreams to begin. So I would probably say, even though this is one of the most exciting times for you, usually April brings about a lot of banter and hullabaloo. You can really talk your life away here. You can really place a lot of love and care into people, and you can create a little home, and you can make a lot of fun and games. You can get a lot of gems out of us because it's a dog year. You were needed, you wanted, you are Aquarius. But this is a bad time to speak so much that you forget you. It is also very likely to not want to go into the new dream that's already all set up. It's like the bed has been made, it's all together. You may not want to get into bed. Does it make sense? You might not want to like the bed that you've made for yourself, because there's probably many different things in the unconscious pulling you out of that bed. And it could be that you don't really want to face yourself, or you don't really want to face the dream, because there's too many unconscious situations that are not yet resolved. So unconscious tracks. Okay, Aquarians. Okay, you need to give it up. You need to give it up, okay? So, for example, if you are straightforward looking, you see you're going to get married very soon, give up the other people. Give up the dreams. It's okay. It's fine. It's not scary. It's not crazy. Okay, so if you are seeing, all right, so I'm not going to be like, for example, a model or an air hostess. I'm actually going to go into medicine, you know, but then I want to put those pictures on Instagram, and I want to like do this, and I want to, you know, no. Okay, you're going to be a nurse. You're going to be a medical professional. Perhaps it's very wise to clean up your social account. Just saying. Okay? So you're going towards a medical profession. Leave the rest behind. For example, you want to go travel. You want to be free. You want to be sexy. You want to be powerful. Or you want to like have a band. You want to have like the beautiful dress on. You want to be like Rihanna, you know, standing there at the top of the cliff, you know, like this, the pink dress, you know, you want to be many things. But then you really look at the future and say you've decided to get yourself, you know, a real job perhaps, or you want to start your tuition or something, or you want to perhaps become, you know, a person who wears a suit in the future and has many fingers and many pies. And you're like, but I want to travel, I want to be crazy. But then you've chosen, you're already chosen, and everything's already made. And how do you know which bed is made for you? Everybody else is around that bed. What I mean is, everybody is pulling you towards that which you have to do now, you know? And occasionally, for that to happen, it actually takes a lot of years and a lot of unconscious world involvement. So the people are all gathered around your next frontier. People are opening the door for you, saying, come on. That's the next phase. Like, you're going to be a husband, or like, come on, you know, you're going to be a nurse. You know, this is the next phase. But this is not something that is conscious for you, but perhaps you'll get a huge neurotic hit from things that are not to do with the purpose at all. So, for example, right before you sign the papers to go to university, you can say, oh, I met somebody. You know what they said? They said to me, life is short. I'm just going to go to Hawaii. Okay? That's very easy to do. Or say you could meet somebody in public, like on a train, or you could meet a friend at school or something, and they could say something to you, and for them it means nothing. And also people on the internet, you know, any type of glorified person like Tony Robbins, they could say a few things like, you only live once, la la la, and you can actually transverse and transfer that phrase into your life as something that's an out. It's like, okay, say for example, look at where it's all going. Look at your mum. look at your dad, look at everybody. Where are they crowding? Where are the social strands taking you? Like, okay, so Stevie's gonna be an entrepreneur, you know? Hey Stevie, wanna go suit shopping? Or like, hey Stevie, hey, by the way, I found this really cheap laptop online, la 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 la, like this guy selling laptops, la la. You know, this is actually a really good deal, la la la, good for your studies or something. You know, everything is taking you a certain direction. Check it, just check it. Like say, you can even write this down. If you are like really bored, take a piece of paper and a pen and be like, okay, so-and-so called, you know, told me, you know, to remember this. This person posted this on my wall or something. This person emailed me, you know, these free tickets, la 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 la. Just see as to where the people are suggesting you should go. You know, what are they talking about? What are they talking about? Okay, so these people have all kind of been talking about the same thing. And then you might want to see that these are the ones, the unconscious people, you know, these people in your world, especially people that you've seen for a long time and, you know, have the coordinates. You don't just meet them, you know, at a bar. Like these people are just people that have been at your school, they've known you, especially relatives, you know, people that live around you. And you can see, okay, so they've been all coaxing me or nurturing me into this next step. And how much do I perhaps dislike myself that I can't take the next step? Or how little do I trust myself that I can't take the next step? And occasionally, this next step is not what it seems. It might look like it's really phenomenally blinding, or even blind. Like, oh, I'm going to be a mom now. You know, like, oh my God, I'm going to like take all my business into this little office and I'm going to just sit at a desk. You know, it could be something that's really blinding. But you might actually see that it's not the conformity that is preventing you from stepping into this reality. It's actually the dense need to be someone else. Sometimes Aquarius might have that. It's like you don't actually like yourself enough. It's like, did you know that you were working towards this unconsciously for like 4 or 5 years? Did you know that this is you? Especially because we're in Aries time, you might actually get a lot of people coaxing you and pushing you and pulling you and kind of like directing you very, very softly and kindly towards what you've missed. Did you know that you could be a dad now? You know, did you know? Or like, did you know that you could just have your own place now? You know, did you know? This is a very nice solid phase, but these people quite often that don't belong with you and that don't have any idea who you are the best people at the moment, or so it seems. Could be very easy. So sit down next to somebody on a subway and they'll just say, hey, you know what? You're free, man. I've spent 40 years in a career. You know what you need to do? You need to run away from home. You need to do something else. Don't be like me. So these types of situations could be the ones that cut you. Oh my God, he's right. Or like, she's right. Or you could say, sit next to somebody at McDonald's. Like random. And sometimes Aquarius loves this kind of stuff. A random person comes in and says, honey, you're so pretty. You should be a model. And then they walk away. And that sticks in the mind. You know, that sticks in the unconscious. Wow, maybe I should be a model. Wow, maybe I should. Maybe I shouldn't actually have to, you know, carry myself, you know, with so much fear. Maybe what I've got is fear. Maybe I'm afraid of my body. And here's where we got this incredible need to push ourselves out there because, you know, we're in the dog year. Who am I? You know, what am I? What else could I be? What am I missing out on? So don't fluff with your reality too much, because sometimes in April it's actually a lot more fragile than it looks. I mean, yeah, we're in this kind of like really, how can I say, dense time, a little bit, it's a bit dense. We got Mercury retrograde conjunct Sun, you know, on the 1st. This is a very, very strong time. It's a very, very opening time as well for people to be like children. And yeah, sometimes it could be very seductive to say, I want to give all my toys away and get new toys. Or I want to run away from home, or I want to like, you know, speak about things on the internet. I don't want to work anymore. I don't want to study. I don't want to do anything. But this is it, basically. You are asked to take your place, which may not be what you wanted, but it might be later. So it may not be now the best idea or the strongest card, but you might see that, say, for example, if you settle into this course, I know it's boring, I know, or you find that algorithm with that person, or you finally marry, or you finally get together with this group of people, that you may not need to worry for about 7 or 8 years about a lot of things. So yeah, definitely consideration, sophistication, growing up, and growing good. So thank you very much, Aquarius. Love yourself, forgive yourself for anything that you would have, should have, could have done, and also don't preach to yourself that you should be unhappy as well, because sometimes Aquarius can do that. They can sometimes be a martyr by accident. So love yourself and see the furthest point of view here and now, because you might not want the things you want now 10 years from now. So definitely have a look as your future unravels. Thank you very much, and have a perfectly sound April. And also, if you want a reading, or if you want to know more about me, or if you want to have a look at your sun, moon, ascendant, stellium, yes, have a look in the caption section below, and I will see you next month. Thanks, bye. Hi, Pisces. Okay, you've done it. You had your dash. You had your dash in March and February. You've been a lot of different things for us, and you've done a lot of different things. And here we are, looking back at you. It's difficult to be in a 12th house. It is difficult. But what is the best here is that you now get to clean up. Great time for invoicing people. Hey, you owe me. Okay. It's a very nice time to ask for help from someone. It's a perfect, supremely beautifully blessed time to cuddle up with someone for an hour, for 2, for 3. Not because you want anything, just because you like the feeling. It's a good time to give and take. It's actually a very nice time to take in more than you give out. It's a good time to save a lot of money. It's a nice time to knock on those doors that owe you. It's a very interesting time to ask people for giving back by giving you money, giving you time, giving you some kind of emotional healing, perhaps. It's a good time to ask for people to come back to you as well. And it's also an interesting situation to forgive. Forgiving. Nice to forgive. And also, Pisces, it's a very beautiful time, if you don't mind, to give another person something that you haven't yet got or haven't yet achieved. So sometimes you can grit with your teeth onto an idea that's not yours or that's never going to be you. And it's not too big a deal for most Pisces, but sometimes Pisces can go on all their life wishing they were a ballerina, because they were 3 or 4 lives ago a ballerina or a mother of a ballerina, but they don't want another person to do it. So if you're seeing that you can't really do that thing yet, or you don't want to do, or it's too late, or you don't mind, it's really good to give your dreams to another person. Great to give your old things away. It is not that big a deal. So good to teach another person something that you've done momentarily, to volunteer some of your time to another person who is still struggling to remember how to do something. Say if you have been a violin teacher before and you haven't done it for a long time and your violin is just dusting away, why not just sell the violin or just give it away? Give away a free lesson, give away free something, free yourself from old things. It's also great to do the same for other people, to help other people release. If you're a practitioner, very nice for fascia release, very nice for releasing of tears, very nice for releasing of anything. Seriously, if a person is in a very stuck situation, or they haven't yet understood what to do, how to do, if they're in a relationship issue and a commitment issue, you could be the one that helps them to remember how to release. That is also very good in a way of raising your prices. If you're a practitioner that helps other people to release, let go, and heal, you can raise your prices here. You can definitely raise your price. Also, a couple of other things. I mean, there's not actually much more. I feel that you have got a very nice privacy about you this time. I feel that you have got a lot more interests for you than for others suddenly, and this to me is an enlightening energy. Although there might be parts of you that are worried, you're like, Paulina, it's a dog year, we all have to be together. How do I do this? And what you can do here is just to keep being private. I feel that private practice, private restaurants, private venues, private houses, private time is something that is very giving to you. And also, the more you hold on to your own privacy and your own self-esteem and self-respect and your own barriers of boundaries, the more you get paid. So how about it? Being privacy bound, to be a private detective or a private servant, a private carer, or a private guru. Privacy, Pisces, you guys could really, really benefit from that if you wanted to start something this month. So for example, instead of working at a center, like I'm working at a holistic center, for example, and I'm providing care for anybody who walks through the door. Now I would like to raise my prices threefold and to become a private practitioner or like a private doctor or something like that. You can do, but you have to find that really nice feeling of owning yourself, but to understand the value of that which you do. Because for you, I feel anybody who is a Piscean, there is a raise of value here for us. You have got the issue probably with you that is preventing you from going forward. By now you might already see what the issue is, but the more you privatize, the more you value, the less you wear, for example, factory made items, the more you wear privately made items, the more respect you have perhaps, or the more consideration you have for yourself, the less you use like plastic, the more you use wood, for example, or the more you use ceramics in your household, the more you probably value yourself unconsciously. It's quite interesting. The less you are using public transport, the more you are, say, for example, biking or walking by yourself, the more your value might shift. So anything private, specifically, specially made for you, anything that is custom made is very lucky. All things that are very strongly personal, things that are for a certain person specifically, things that are custom designed, all things that are made by hand and all things that are made by specific hands can actually be something that gives you a lot during this month. So all things that are personally personified, personalized, can actually be a really nice income, a source of income, but it also can be something that's not. It could just be a sense of pride and a sense of self-appreciation. So if you are interested in shopping, you might want to see how you can get more specific on who you are and how come you are there, and also more specialized in a field, and also more specific about what you might want, how you want it, who is the person that has provided you the service, or who are those people that are still on the heart, on the mind, that still are not letting go. Zoning and honing in on those energies is very nice. Also, if you wanted a healing for yourself, zoning in and honing in on specific interesting parts of your body. So for example, getting your liver cleansed currently is a nice idea, but not to go overboard as well, because it might be, for example, you're doing your liver cleanse for 2 or 3 days, not too long, and there is probably a person that this aggravates in your mind. You might remember your sister, for example, that you had a fight with many years ago. You might want to call her up And then there's also something that takes you back into a different direction. You might think in terms of pride and how you respect yourself as a woman. So for example, the color that you wear or the colors that you never wear and how to accentuate that. So you might get like, say, a blue hand-dyed fabric at the same time to wear. So this all links into all links to the fractal. So this is the physical, the material, the emotional parts, you know, the past, the future, and the current, self-adoration and self-respect and self-forgiveness and forgiveness of another's, all within one fractal. So multi-fractal healing on all these different levels. And then by the end of April, definitely, but also through April, because we've got Venus and Taurus, attaching things to taste, smells, and colors, having a more rich association with yourself, and having a more, once again, private association with certain things. So for example, for somebody a blue is just a blue, but for you a blue has got many different souls within one color. Like I can feel the fabric of souls within blue or something like that. So there is a very interesting association reel that's available here. So you can create a better and more placid and more level association with things. And also it feels to me that you could become a greater artist or a great exhibitioner of what you have come to know, especially as a person who's a power player. Stepping back sometimes from the group, from the brood, can give you much more. But also creating an exclusivity that is attainable for other people. So have a look at how you can do that. So becoming way more exclusive on who you are, but at the same time creating guidelines for people as to how they can approach that exclusivity. So it is not directly linked only to you in such a way that nobody can even ever touch it. So for example, you have become a more exclusive, a private, say, investigator. And then there's also a very, very handy website that has your face or your name, your details and your coordinates, and your flyers or your cards. So seeing how you can match people up to you, so lead people back to you, but remain exclusive and also remain free from harm. That's another thing. So with all situations, I feel it might be very nice to have a very clear spectrum and a very, very clear feeling about what's going on. So if you are somebody who walks the night, you know, if you're somebody who likes to be alone and who divinates, you know, or who sticks to certain types of situations and anomalies, it might be very nice to have your senses in check, so to keep yourself away from harm. The purpose of being detached sometimes, as a Pisces goes through that quite often, the purpose of being detached is to create a greater sense, a greater feeling of life. But if you don't want to create that sense and you just feel like you want to be detached, sometimes you can get lost, so you can become a lost person. It might be important not to go towards that, but instead to go towards the part of you which heals through placidity, but also knows your worth. So you can be apart, but also know the connection points with other people and the connection points with the world. Thank you very much, Pisces. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you'd like to know more about me, or if you'd like to book a reading, have a look at the free blog, or if you'd like to have a look at your sun, moon, ascendant, or stellar signs, it's all in the caption section below. Thank you very much for being here and enjoy your month. Thanks. Bye.